This Easter will be very different for everybody. But this Easter, we remember the great men and women of 1916. 104 years on, their memories still live in this republic. They founded this republic. We wouldn't be here in the Irish Republic today without these men and women, what they did 104 years ago on Easter week. These men and these women sacrificed everything for one cause: to free their land. To free their land from British occupation, no matter the cost. Some of them died. Some of them were interned in prison camps. But the one thing we can say, and I'm sure everybody would agree with me, their determination, their sacrifice for their country and the love of their country is unspeakable, and it's just so brave and so dedicated to one country. And so many of them were executed, fighting against the biggest empire on the planet. They stood strong, they stood together, they stood united. At the moment in time, this country is facing a crisis in which we never thought we ever would face. But these men and these women who went out on Easter Monday 1916 and went out for one goal and one goal only, to achieve an Irish Republic by military means, we should look at them as huge inspirations. Not for today, or not for this time of national emergency we're in at the moment, but for every day of our lives. Because these men and women sacrificed everything in their lives. They sacrificed their lives, they sacrificed their family, getting to see everything they wanted to see in life and everything they wanted to achieve for this republic. And now this republic is in jeopardy with this coronavirus. And they ask us to do what is right, to protect our older citizens and to protect the people of Ireland. And in the great words of Poet Piers, Ireland is for the Irish. And that's another point I'm going to talk about. We can't lose track or lose interest in these great men and women. People like James Connolly, Poet Piers, Thomas Clark. We can't lose their names in the history books. Their names should always stay in Ireland and never be forgotten about. These men are heroes, and there's no better word to describe these men. They are amazing, great patriots of this country. The people who stood when nobody else stood. Today, as I said, we live in a crisis. They say to us, the patriots of 1916, that they done their bit for their country. They fought for independence. They died for independence. They say to us now, you must do your part. And today we can say that we are doing our part in protecting our citizens and protecting the older citizens. And as I was saying there a few minutes ago, that Ireland is for the Irish, the National Party's slogan, if you may use that word. Ireland is for the Irish. Padraig Pearse said it. Because Ireland is belonged to the people of Ireland, is ownership by the people of Ireland. And Ireland can never be owned by any European Union, or any organisation, or any people who are not Irish. Ireland is rightfully belonged to the people of Ireland, and not to any European Union. We should never forget these great men and women's ideas. Their reasons for declaring an Irish Republic, what they wanted to achieve and what they wanted to see of us. And I'm sure loads of people would say to me now, and I would say to myself, and I'm sure they would look down on us in the last few months before this coronavirus came, with 10,000 people on our streets, 3,000 children lying on the streets too. What would they say? What would they say? And I say that to Leo Fargo, what would they say? if they seen Irish people lying on the streets of the capital city that they fought and died for, what would they say? And I asked that to the government. What would they say to see that? What? Because I don't know what they would say, but I tell you one thing. They would turn in their graves to see how badly we treated our own citizens as a government and as a people. We treated and we abandoned the people who lie in the streets every night in Dublin and across Ireland. And I say to the people of Ireland, when this is over, this coronavirus, we must do more. We must do more. Because there are people. We have a responsibility to take care of them. And not to take care of the people who are not Irish. Because the Irish are forced. Some of these men and some of these women are veterans who fought in the Irish Defence Forces opening the Heron. And it's even more of a sin to let them lie in the street. And it's a sin to let any Irish man or any Irish woman lie in our streets. When so many men sacrificed their lives for this country to exist today. And I could go on. I could go on and I could go on and I could go on about the amount of unacceptable behaviours that's been happening in this country over the last few years, and what these men and women would take today looking down on us from heaven. And we must never, and I can't say this enough, we must never forget their names. Their sacrifices made us to be here today. They put us on the course to have this flag in front of me, to have these flags on my shoulder. Only for them, they were the stepping stone to this republic. Only for them, we would have never probably seen a republic. We might have happened. These are the questions we ponder. But I'm saying to people, and I'm begging to people, never forget these great, great men and women who sacrificed everything for this republic. And in this great time we live in this republic, may their influence and their sacrifice be known. They sacrificed everything, while we only have to sacrifice a few things for a few weeks. I'm saying to people, take on these inspirations, these few weeks where we're in isolations. Remember their names, remember what they did for this country, and say to yourself, they were great, great men and great, great women who stood against the mighty enemy, and they won. I would just like, for the last few minutes, to have 3 minutes of silent remembrance for these great, great men and women. And if you would join me to remember these great, great men, it would really be appreciated. Because we should do more to remember these great, great men and women who sacrificed everything. The least we can do is remember them in a silent prayer and in silent thought for a few minutes. Thank you. Thank you, thank you for everything, and you'll be safe and have a safe and happy Easter. Thank you, and God bless the men and women of 1916. May their memories live in the ages of this republic. Thank you, and God bless them. Thank you.